Hey everyone, it's Carissa at Sprinkled with Glitter. Thanks for joining me today. Today I am creating a really cool foil pressed see-through shaker card. Now this card is really cool in real life and so hard to photograph. So I'm going to show you the steps to create your own, and hopefully you'll understand, because it's really hard to capture on film, how really cool this effect is. So I'm starting out with an Avery Elle extra large stamp pocket that I've cut down, and it is sealed on 3 sides. And this really cool HBD die from the stamp market. They have a brand new release out today, and they have some amazing products. And I am going to use my Gemini foil press to press the foil into the stamp pocket. This is not going to cut, it's just going to press on those die cut lines. So I'm taking my stamp pocket there and then my foil and my die on top, and I'm placing all that face down onto my Gemini foil press. It's already heated up. You can tell that by the green light that's over there by the temperature gauge. And then I'm going to let it sit for about 15 seconds. And once it's completely warmed up and I have that top plate on top, I'm going to remove it from the platform and send it through my Gemini Junior. Now, if you want to know more about the Gemini foil press, I'm going to throw a card up right here that is a complete video that I did about the Gemini foil press and all the different things you can do with it. It is such a cool tool. But you can see here that once I remove the foil, I now have the die lines pressed into this stamp pocket with that foil. And it is such a cool effect. It is such delicate lines that it's really, like I said, hard to capture on film, but such a cool effect. Now I'm also going to take this brand new heart die from the stamp market, and I will have everything listed and linked below the description on YouTube. So if you're looking for something in particular, be sure to check the description. I also have the links over at my blog. And I've taken some pale rose cardstock and I've just die cut that with my Gemini Junior. And now I have a piece of heavyweight vellum that I've stuck inside of this pocket. Before I kind of seal all this up, I decided I did want to do a little stamping on this vellum. And this vellum measures 4 inches by 5¼ inches. So it's just shy of an A2 size card. Now I'm going to heat emboss on this vellum. So I'm going to go ahead and prep the surface with a powder tool. I'm going to ink up this confetti background stamp with some Versamark ink. And then I am going to use my arm to press that onto the vellum. Make sure I get really good ink transfer. And then I can add my white embossing powder and heat set that so that I get a really cool confetti background. Now this confetti background is also part of the Stamp Market's release for February 2019. And there are a lot of birthday themed products in this release because it is the Stamp Market's 2nd birthday. So happy birthday, the Stamp Market and Amy over there. You have really lit up my world with your products, and I'm so glad you're a part of this crafting community. So I went ahead and heat set that, and now I'm taking some glue tube from Lawn Fawn. I'm adding it to the back of this scribble heart here, and I'm going to put that at an angle onto this vellum piece. And I'll just kind of hold that in place to kind of let it set up there. And then I'm going to take this entire vellum piece and I'm going to slide it inside this pocket. Now this pocket is still attached on 3 sides, but I am going to attach it again. I'm going to seal it. I'm not using the seals on the actual pocket because I had to kind of square this up with the vellum. So because I was kind of doing that whole foil press technique kind of blind because you can't see through the foil, it's not exactly straight on the stamp pocket, but I knew that was going to be the result. And so I knew I would go ahead and reseal the edges. And for that, I'm using my We Are Memory Keepers fuse tool. Now, this is a tool that I absolutely love for creating shaker pouches, and I haven't used it in a while, but I made sure that it was good and hot, and I'm using the ruler that comes with the fuse tool just to place along the edge of that vellum that has been squared up with that foil pressed image. And then I am going to very slowly go across this and make new sealed edges. You get what I'm saying, right? I'm sealing it again. I'm not using the original seals that are on there from the factory. So I'm going to do that on 3 sides because I want to add some shaker guts inside of this. And I'm going to use some pretty pink Posh sparkling clear 4mm sequins. Now, when I went to go slide the gift card in here, I kind of didn't like how you could see the green through it. Now, if you wanted to leave it just like this, you could, but I didn't have a gift card that really looked good with this design. If I had, I would have just left it as it is. But in order to kind of conceal that gift card a little bit, I slid a piece of that pale rose cardstock behind this, and I'm just attaching it with a little bit of glue tube behind. This is the back side of that vellum. So I'm doing that because I don't want sequins to kind of get trapped between the vellum and the cardstock, if that makes sense. And then I'm going to attach my gift card to the back of that cardstock. Now, if you wanted a completely see-through card, you wouldn't even have to put the vellum in here. These are all optional layers. You could put the sequins into that little custom pocket that you've created. You could seal up the fourth edge and it would be beautiful. But I really felt like that foil pressed image needed something behind it so that you could see it a little bit better, because with it being completely clear, the foil was getting a bit lost because they are such delicate lines. So that's kind of why I added the extra layers inside, but you could totally go without if you wanted to. So I'm sprinkling in my sequins here, and now that I have all those sequins in there, I'm going to take my fuse tool again. I'm going to use the ruler and I'm going to seal up that top edge. So now I have all 4 edges of my pocket sealed, and then I will take this over to my paper trimmer and I will trim off the excess. And then I have a piece that measures right around 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, because I used a little bit smaller piece on the inside of that pocket so that my finished project would be right around an A2 size card. Now this shaker looks great as it is, but I thought it would be fun to add another sentiment on top of it. So I am taking the happy birthday from the Hip Hip Hooray stamp set from the stamp market, and I'm stamping it on Versamark ink onto some vellum, and I've prepped that surface with some powder tool. And then I'm adding some Brutus Monroe gilded embossing powder. Now, like I said, this card looks great as it is, but I'm a more is more kind of girl, you know what I mean? Especially when it comes to all things gold and shiny. And you would be surprised that I don't wear as much sparkle as I really kind of put onto my cards. I think I wear it on my eyeshadow and my earrings, but not like kind of all over. So don't worry, I'm not walking around in a million rhinestones all the time. Although I gotta say, you know, sparkle is life, right? So I've taken the coordinating dies for these words, which I think are so cool because they cut these scripty sentiments out so perfectly. I've ran that through my Gemini Junior to die cut those, and now I'm taking some mixed media adhesive from Ranger in a fine tip glue bottle, and I'm putting that on the back of these delicate vellum embossed sentiments, and I'm just adhering those onto the front of my card. And I used a T-square ruler to make sure I got it straight. And that completes my card for today. I did take a heavy block, acrylic block, and put that over those die cut sentiments on the front to make sure that it kind of all adhered together, but it stuck beautifully. And I really love the way this card turned out. It has the foil, it has the shaker element, and like I said, if you take out those layers on the inside, this could be a completely see-through card, which I think is such a fun effect. And it really is just such a shame that you really can't capture that foil in its full beauty on camera, because those delicate fine lines of that HBD sentiment pressed into this pocket are absolutely stunning in person. And I just think it adds such an elegance to this card with that foil on there. So as I mentioned earlier, I will have links to the featured products used in this project in the description at YouTube, but head on over to my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.com. I will have it linked below. Over there, you'll find more still shots, more information, a complete list of supplies, and a few other projects that I created with this brand new release from the stamp market. As always, thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications so you won't miss any of my future paper crafting and card making video tutorials. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with me today. Thanks for sticking around to the very end. You know, if you've made it this far, you are one of my favorites. I hope you enjoyed this project, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.